You picked up your phone last night before bed, maybe just to check one thing, and then somehow 45 minutes disappeared, and you have absolutely no idea where they went. Sound familiar? That one moment, that tiny little habit you probably don't even think twice about, is silently wrecking your entire next day before it even starts. Here is what nobody is telling you about stress. Most people think stress comes from their job, their relationships, their finances, the big heavy things in life, and yes, those things matter. But research in sleep science and neurobiology consistently shows that one of the most powerful drivers of chronic daily stress is something far smaller and far more personal. It is what you do in the final 60 minutes before you close your eyes. And before we go deeper into this, I want you to know that if you are already feeling like something needs to change, there is a program linked down below in the video description that people are using right now to completely rewire their evening habits and reset their stress response from the inside out. A lot of people who felt exactly where you might be feeling right now have already moved forward with it. Do not wait on this one. The people who keep saying they will start tomorrow are still scrolling at midnight 6 months later. But let us get into the real story here, because this is something you deserve to fully understand. Picture this. It is late, the house is finally quiet, the kids are in bed, or your roommates have gone to their rooms, or your partner is already drifting off, and this is supposed to be your time, your wind down, your reward for surviving another day. So you reach for your phone, just to decompress, just to check a few things. You open one app, then another, then someone posts something that makes you mildly annoyed. Then you see something that makes you compare yourself to someone else. Then you read something alarming about the economy or the news or something happening in the world. And then you watch a few videos. And somewhere in the back of your mind a very quiet voice is trying to tell you that you should probably just go to sleep. But you ignore it. Because honestly, this is the only time today that felt like it was yours. And that right there is the trap. That feeling of it being your time, your reward, your escape. It feels like rest. But your brain is doing something completely different. Here is the science in the simplest way possible. When you look at your phone screen at night, you are exposing your brain to blue light. Blue light tells a very specific part of your brain to stop producing a hormone called melatonin. Melatonin is not just a sleep chemical. It is the chemical signal that tells your entire nervous system that it is safe to relax. Without it, your brain stays in a mild state of alertness. It stays switched on. And when your brain stays switched on all night, even while your body technically sleeps, you wake up with your stress hormones already elevated. And here is where it gets really important. Your body has a primary stress hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is not evil. You need it. In healthy amounts at the right times, it helps you wake up, stay focused, and handle challenges. But when your sleep is disrupted by phone use at night, cortisol does not follow its natural rhythm. Instead of being low at night and rising gently in the morning, it stays elevated throughout the night. And when cortisol is elevated while you sleep, your nervous system never fully recovers. You wake up already behind, already depleted, already running on a stress deficit. Think about the last time you woke up and within the first 10 seconds of opening your eyes, you already felt heavy. Already felt that low hum of anxiety. Like something was wrong but you could not identify what it was. That is not weakness. That is not anxiety disorder. That is not just how you are. That is a direct biological consequence of what happened on your phone the night before. And here is the part that most people miss entirely. It is not just the light, it is the content. When you scroll through your phone before bed, your brain does not know that what you are looking at is not real and immediate. Your brain is ancient. It evolved to treat information as something that requires a response. So when you see something upsetting, something competitive, something that makes you feel behind or inadequate or worried, your brain registers that as a real threat. And it begins producing adrenaline. Not a lot, just a little, just enough to keep you on edge. Just enough to prevent you from reaching the deep, restorative stages of sleep that your body desperately needs. And this is where the spiral begins. You sleep poorly because of what you looked at on your phone. You wake up stressed. Because you woke up stressed, your decision-making is compromised from the very first hour of your day. You are more reactive, more irritable, less patient, more likely to reach for sugar, caffeine, or some kind of numbing behavior to get through the afternoon slump that hits you like a truck around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And then evening comes, and you are exhausted, and your emotional reserves are empty. And the only thing that feels comforting is picking up your phone and disappearing into it, and the cycle repeats, and repeats, and repeats. Months go by. You wonder why you feel chronically tired even when you get enough hours of sleep. You wonder why your mood is unpredictable. You wonder why motivation feels so far away. You wonder why even small things feel like enormous effort. And here is the truth that is both devastating and incredibly liberating. None of that is your fault. You were never taught this. Nobody sat you down and explained what nighttime phone use was actually doing to your hormones, your nervous system, your emotional regulation, and your entire next day. You were just handed a device and told it was normal, and now your brain is paying the price for a habit that was never designed with your well-being in mind. But here is where the story changes, because the same science that explains the damage also points clearly to the solution. Studies on sleep and cortisol regulation show that even small shifts in the final hour before sleep can produce measurable changes in stress levels within just a few days. Not weeks, not months, days. The human nervous system is remarkably responsive when you stop flooding it with overstimulating signals at the wrong time. When people remove their phone from the final 60 minutes of their night, something extraordinary happens. Melatonin rises naturally, cortisol begins its proper descent. The nervous system starts the process of genuine recovery. And when you wake up the following morning, something feels different. Not dramatically at first, but there is a quietness, a steadiness, a sense that you are already okay before the day has even made a single demand on you. That feeling is not just pleasant, it is transformational. Because when you wake up from a genuinely restorative night of sleep, your entire relationship with stress changes. The same challenges that would have triggered you yesterday now feel manageable. The same problems that would have sent your mind into a spiral now look like things you can actually solve. Your patience returns, your clarity returns, your energy has a different quality to it. It is not the jittery, caffeine-dependent energy of someone running on fumes. It is a grounded, sustained energy that carries you through the day without crashing, and people around you notice. Your conversations become different. You show up differently in your work, in your relationships, in every single interaction. Because when your stress baseline drops, you become a different person. A version of yourself that was always there, just buried under layers of chronic sleep disruption and cortisol overload. There is a reason high performers across medicine, athletics, and high-stakes leadership have been radically protective of their sleep environment for years. This is not new information in elite circles. Sleep scientists have been documenting the connection between nighttime habits and daily stress performance for well over 2 decades. The data is overwhelming and consistent. The people who engineer their pre-sleep environment are the people who report dramatically lower levels of chronic stress, even in objectively high-pressure lives. People who have made this shift describe it as one of the most significant quality of life changes they have ever made. Not because they did something extreme, not because they completely overhauled their lives, but because they changed one consistent behavior in one specific window of time. And that one change compounded into something they could feel in every single area of their life. And maybe you are sitting there thinking, well, that sounds nice, but my situation is different. My life is too chaotic. My phone is necessary. I cannot just disconnect. I have too much going on. And I want you to really hear this. The people who feel most resistant to changing their nighttime phone habits are usually the people who need this change the most. The chaos you feel is not a reason to stay attached to your phone at night. The chaos is the symptom. The phone at night is feeding it. You do not need to be calmer to change this habit. Changing this habit is what makes you calmer. And if you already know something needs to change, if something in this video has been landing somewhere real inside of you, then the program in the description below was built for exactly this moment. It takes everything that science understands about nighttime cortisol, phone habits, stress recovery, and nervous system regulation, and turns it into something practical that real people are actually doing and feeling the results of right now. You can keep telling yourself you will work on this someday, but someday is not a day of the week. And every single night you spend doing what you have always done is another morning you wake up already stressed before the day begins. The gap between who you are when you are depleted and who you are when you are genuinely rested is enormous. The version of you on the other side of this is not a fantasy. That version is already inside you. It is just waiting for the right environment to emerge. The program down below is the environment. Take the first step tonight, not next week, tonight.